now that we've looked at meet week, post meet week, and basically a GPP block of really high volume, non-sport specific work. After about that time, that's when you can begin to get back into maybe some more traditional powerlifting style training. That doesn't mean that you have to be taking heavy singles and heavy triples week in and week out. It just means you need to get back to taking a bar and maybe some competition lifts if that's how you opt to train. How you choose to train is going to kind of dictate on what you do. I'm just trying to give you basically a basic layout of what you can try to shoot for. So we basically finished up weeks 2 through 5. So then we're going to basically be looking at around weeks, we'll say, it's probably going to be around weeks 6 to probably to 13. We'll say weeks 6 to 13 because it's really not going to be that specific. It's really going to be really determined on certain things. With this week range, we're going to want to intro the barbell back in. And then we're also going to want to bring in heavier weights. Now, the thing that I really like around this time frame is to make a very simple rule of no misses. None. Absolutely zero. Not even close. So there should probably be around 2 reps left in the tank for all barbell lifts that you're going to be performing. Ideally, if your heaviest stuff's probably going to be 5s, maybe some 3s, pretty much not a whole lot of singles. I mean, if you're going to get a single, it better be really fast. It better be like 85% for a single, something that's not really going to be worrying about having a miss, which that's something you should probably almost be able to hit for a set 5. So, that said, I also like to implement different things of preferably specialty bars, and then you can also use bands and chains here pretty well to make things a little bit more fun, a little bit challenging. But see, also in this way, you really don't know what you're technically doing from a weight standpoint. Yes, you know what's on the bar, but you really don't know how that's transferring over to the competition lift. So, for example, I just know from working with a safety squat bar so much that my squat's around 90%. My safety squat bar work is around 90% of whatever my straight bar is. So I've been able to make that inference, but I wouldn't know that if I didn't spend the dedicated time using a safety squat bar in the time of after meet. So there is some ways that you can definitely make very good correlations with certain things during this time span. And the last thing I'll add, which I also got from Dave Tate's a very good thing, this is basically your test phase. Okay? This is when you're going to want to test new ideas, what lifts are going to help build your competition lifts, what's not going to work, what assistance work, accessory work works really well, and what doesn't. So if it works incredibly well, you're going to want to keep it. So for an example, just to make things easy, let's say I find out that, since we use Dave for example, we'll say that tape presses, we find out, work really good for building my bench. Every time I put tape presses in during this phase, my bench feels better, the bar speed's better, my strength is going up in what I'm doing. That's something I want to keep. Therefore, we're not going to want to use this anymore until we know we got a meet coming up. Let's say during that time span, we find that, let's say that we find that incline benching is a no-go because of shoulder discomfort. Now that we know this doesn't work well because it's giving me a bunch of shoulder issues. I don't want to put this basically at all my programs anywhere. I want to basically not do any incline work. So I know that moving forward, that's something that I'm not going to be able to use. While people spend a lot of time trying to find out what does work, you also need to take into account what isn't working. So if you've got a list of 30 different options, yes, it's great to find the ones you can check mark, but it's also good by process elimination to figure out which ones don't work. So you could literally hit this for one workout out of, say, this time span, which is a plenty amount of bench workouts depending on how often you choose to bench. You have an idea of what works and what doesn't.